We're going to be looking, I suspect, at the end of this at an entirely different college landscape. We're almost certainly going to get a playoff. I think that might be the impetus behind most of this stuff. You know, the sad part is, as you think of all of the times we've heard college moves in college football based on the idea that there's tradition we've got to preserve, that we can't put the student athletes under too much pressure, that we can't do this, we can't do that, and yet I think what we're seeing, you know, almost is a naked money grab in a way that all of these conferences now realize the power is with television, the power is in aggregation, and we're about to see what looks like 4 super conferences. If there's any consolation at all, I think it's going to be the idea that fans may finally get that college playoff that we've been begging for all these years, that the BCS has stood in the way of. The flip side is I think, you know, if we end up losing NCAA supervision, you're going to have a hard time telling the difference between college and pro football by the time it's over. Well, if you're a fan, you probably want to take a deep breath beginning now, because a lot of these guys have schedule obligations going out for a couple of years. I know Notre Dame does. They've got a TV contract that runs through 2015. So there's going to be a lot of smoothing over. The next couple of years could really be rough. If you're an Oklahoma, Texas fan, Michigan, Ohio State, those things will probably be intact for the next couple of years. And yet, if you're one of those conferences that's just beginning to develop a rivalry, or if you're a region, you know, if your team is a regional power, you better get used to a different landscape. A lot of these teams are going to be thrown into deep water with a lot of sharks. There's going to be a big disparity between programs like Ohio State and Rutgers if they wind up in the same conference. So it's going to look very, very, very rough the first couple of years. You see it, and yet it's all that transition period may actually give them a time to get. May give administrators enough time to finally get the product right. My guess is the end result is going to be a playoff. By the time you see that, it'll probably be running pretty smoothly, and it may be worth all the aggravation. But in the meantime, a lot of fans are going to be upset by what they see.